a recap from the show from last month, upcoming guests on the program, along with the latest news from our Hoosier Media Network. It's pretty simple. All you got to do is go to the website at HoosierReason.com and become the next Hoosierholic. Finally, follow us on all of our social media sites. With the iron grip control on content from the radical left, unless you follow us, you're not going to be able to see us. It's been an ongoing battle with shadow banning on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, where even our own fans are having a hard time finding our content. But the battle isn't over. We'll continue to bring you the best content we can on as many platforms as possible. You can follow us with the handle at Hoosier Reason. No matter what social media site you like to use, you can find us there. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch.tv, Instagram, TikTok, OurFreedomBook.com, Parler, and of course our website at HoosierReason.com. Don't miss it while we give you a heads up on some of the events that I may be attending or speaking at, updates of behind-the-scene projects, or just something sarcastic to try and rile up the left. The battle for freedom is real, and we want to be part of that battle, as we want you to be your own voice of reason in your own community. Conservative principles happen at the grassroots level, and that's what we're here to help with. And together, you and I can fight back against this virus that's spreading across the nation that is socialist policy, trying to destroy this country. We can bring us back to some constitutional values, some individual sovereignty, and the right for you to be able to make your own choices when you deem necessary for you, your family, and your community. In a world of fake news and information overload, it's time to bring back some reason, common sense, guidance, and a little bit of wisdom. And that's what we're here to do. This is the Voice of Reason.
Fighting for freedom every day. The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Darn right it is. Welcome back in. Last few minutes here of the program. Got word that Dr. James Johnston finally just landed after some delays on the flight, so we'll get him rescheduled. Not a big deal. Get him back on the program. Going to be a very fascinating conversation. I love these kind of conversations, trying to take your health back. Even though COVID's done, the battle for your health, I think that, again, has awakened individuals as well. There's the woke term, and then there's the awakened term. We are awake. We are not woke. And I love the CPAC message that had that, what was it, last year, that used that terminology. But I love it because the wokeness is real. But being awake and realizing, seeing, what does it mean to be awake? Well, you can look at it from the religious and spiritual standpoint. You can look at it from the political standpoint. But the facade, the cloak of darkness, the cloak of ignorance has been lifted. The veil has been lifted. Now people are realizing what the hell's going on. The corruption in Washington, D.C., the crony capitalism that's going on, the corporation, not the evil corporation stuff, but I mean the corporate greed in working with many government entities for their benefit, not in a capitalist system, but in a crony capitalist system, with the politicians doing things behind closed doors. Donald Trump shook that open, whether you like it or not, and now they can't put the toothpaste back in the tooth box, the tube, because guess what? It's out now. We know exactly. So now we see the tactics that are happening all the time. And when businesses now try to go down this quote-unquote woke mindset, there's retaliation. Headline from Fox News shows that there's still backlash with Bud Light as their stocks, at least last week, were down by about 6 or 7 or 8% in total for Anheuser-Busch as a whole, with Bud Light being down near 25, 26% on a week-to-week basis right now. And many businesses, other beer companies, are starting to rethink maybe what they wanted to do. Remember your demographics. I don't know why this is very difficult. As a radio host, I know what my demographic is. I know who I'm talking to. I'm trying to change that a little bit because really there's the demographic for the quote-unquote older listener crowd. Me being 34, trying to bring the younger generation into talk radio by doing it with social media, with podcasting, with having different platforms, with thinking in things just a little bit differently to where like, oh, he makes sense. Trying to keep it somewhat entertaining because the attention span is really short, so we got to kind of keep things moving here on the show. So there's some drastic changes in how talk radio is done. But I understand that because you're trying to reach a certain demographic. As a beer company, who are you trying to appeal to? If you're Bud Light, as the cheap beer, not to knock them for a second, but just the quality of it, as the cheap beer that's out there to get college kids drunk, and for the good old boy on the farm that wants a case of beer for $14 right now, that's who you're pandering to. And for them to say, we're going to partner up with Dylan Mulvaney or whoever else on a woke mindset and a woke agenda goes against that entire demographic. You have no clue what your constituency actually is. That's like a Ted Cruz going into inner city Chicago and saying, I'm here to talk about constitutional conservatism. While they need to hear that message, you're probably not going to get the biggest response in the heartland of where, Mayor Lightfoot's now gone, so whoever the new mayor is for the city of Chicago. It's not going to work very well. Know your demographic, dude. Know your constituency. Know who you're trying to appeal to. And apparently they made that mistake. Now we see other companies trying to do the same thing, and other beer companies now holding back and reining it in. According to Fox News, this particular promotion has really struck a chord. It was a bridge too far, apparently, for consumers, and we're weeks in, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better, according to some of the beer experts right now, with the whole industry in shock, quote unquote, because people are concerned. They're not dancing on the grave of Bud Light, but now they're skeptical of how they actually promote their adult beverages and their next marketing schemes as well. Good. You pat yourself on the back. You made that happen. As we talked about in the last segment, you decide how businesses work. Not the government, not the ESG. And while those are concerns, we have to fight them tooth and nail. We have to remain the most influential portion of a business on whether you like their product or not, to continue to spend money and support them or not. And in a world where every business apparently has to be taking a political stance to either win over Republicans or Democrats, conservatives or liberals, Chick-fil-A, oh, you're pro-life, to hell with you. You're anti-LGBTQ, to hell with you. We're going to go after you. Or someplace like Bud Light. In a world like that, unfortunately, you have to make those choices, and you are making that voice heard, especially going into Memorial Weekend, which I'm assuming is a very big weekend for these beer companies, and especially Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch, that they're probably not going to get as much of a support for when they're having to do buy one for $19 and we'll give you a $20 rebate, or we have to buy back cases that are now expired because they went out of stock and they didn't do too well. Be a warning to other adult beverage companies. Don't be like Bud Light. All right, Thursday, right around the corner. We got a lot to get to. Congressman Bob Latta will join us from D.C. to give us an update on the debt ceiling debate. Until then, it's time for you to be your own voice of reason. Time for you to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and speak some reason. Be that catalyst for change. This is the Voice of Reason. I'm Andy Hoosier. We'll see you on the radio. Hey, it's Andy Hoosier. When I get off the air every day, the battle for me against limited government, censorship, and even unfactual content is far from over. That's why now I'm so happy to say that the Hoosier Media Network is giving you more opportunity to catch the Voice of Reason, along with other great shows and podcasts. It's been a long time in the works, and now you can finally enjoy more great content, services, and topical shows. We're the safe space for alternative talk, information, and ideas that the mainstream media absolutely hates. From holistic and alternative medicine, discussions on religion and spirituality, pure entertainment shows, and of course yours truly with the Voice of Reason. Plus, we offer numerous media services, including helping you set up your own podcast. Become your own voice of reason and